All right, hello, Twitch and YouTube. Hello, good to see you all. My name's Nathan Goheen. This is Anne-Marie joining me.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry, I just had to adjust that. As always, if you got any questions or comments or anything, just drop them in the chat, and we will hopefully see them and get to them. Let's see here. As always, in the like to show more info on YouTube, there's a Venmo. If anyone wants to support financially, that'd be awesome. There's also a link to my latest full moon music, which I released Tuesday.
It's awesome.
Thank you. And there's also some links to Anne-Marie's website and Anne-Marie's YouTube page. I think there's another link in there too. Maybe it's my website. Anyways, let's jump right in. Something that I've been thinking about a lot this week is a quote by Ram Dass. So it's kind of long. So be patient.
It's Ram Dass. What do you expect?
Oh, is he a loquacious guy?
He's a talker.
All right. all right. So Ram Dass had this to say: when you go out into the woods and you look at trees, you see all these different trees, and some of them are bent, and some of them are straight, and some of them are evergreens, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You see why it is the way it is. You sort of understand that it didn't get enough light, and so it turned out that way. And you don't get all emotional about it. You just allow it. You appreciate the trees. The minute you get near humans, you lose all that. And you're constantly saying, you are to this, or I am to that. That judgment mind comes in. And so I practice turning people into trees, which means appreciating them just the way they are. I thought this was awesome, because I'm a super judgmental person, and it's something I'm trying not to be.
Sorry. I'm laughing because you rarely hear people admit, certain things about themselves that maybe they don't like.
Yeah. Well,
And we're all judgmental, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think when you take your judgments and push them on others, that's when you get into trouble, because you have to judge situations in order to make decisions, right?
Yeah. No, of course. But I judge people. I judge myself. But you're right. You do have to judge situations. Absolutely.
And situations incorporate people. So I don't know. I'm one of those people who's not into don't judge anything, don't judge people, just let it be. I think judgment is a part of society. It's a part of how we maintain growth and continue to survive and evolve. I just think it's a problem when it becomes a negative instead of a positive aspect of your experience. Okay, sorry to keep interrupting you.
Why did I have you on if you're just going to disagree with me?
That's the whole point.
Is it?
Yes. If I continue to agree with you, then you should just be by yourself. I thought I was here to kind of, play devil's advocate, kind of bounce ideas off of each other.
I used bad judgment asking you on.
Judge much?
Oh, man. So in addition to liking that quote, kind of bringing it back to that, like I said, I judge really hard. And so I've been trying not to do that so much. And I think that probably judging other people just as hard, I judge myself just as hard. I think that's probably where judging other people stems from, right? So I'm trying to judge myself less. And part of that is judging the music that I make or that I work on, and I'm trying to enjoy it more, I guess. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing and you don't appreciate what you're doing, then it's going to grind to a halt because you're no longer going to do it, unless, of course, your life depends on it. But to some extent, if you are not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to stop doing it at a certain time.
I'm just kidding.
This one.
Sorry.
No. I think not judging or judging less and just accepting someone for how they are. If they're not a threatening person or something like that, it's not a threat to you, then I think, as long as you're safe, then I think if we can not judge a person and just be like, oh, this person's kind of whatever they may be. And then if we can accept that person, like we accept our piece of art, if we're like, this piece of art is a little bit too whatever, but just accept that. And then I think if we can take it one step further and say, what does this person need? What does this piece of art need? Maybe it's something that you can give them. Maybe it's not something you can give them. But I think that it's an important question to ask. And, in terms of our art, it's like, okay, well, why don't I love this as much as I love something else? And if the only answer you can come up with is because I made it, that's not a good enough answer. But if you can say, I don't like it because it didn't do X, Y, and Z, then you can work on X, Y, and Z. You can try to provide your creations with whatever you feel like is missing. And in the same way, if someone is missing something and you think you can provide it to them, you should try to provide it to them. I don't know. I talked a lot about that, and I think Anne-Marie feels completely different because she's looking down and laughing at me.
I'm listening to you. The art of listening. That's what I'm doing.
The art of listening.
Yeah. So I do have some contrarian points to make.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I will be a bit of a contrarian today.
Do it.
But so the first point I want to touch on is when you said that if you don't enjoy something, it comes to a halt. I don't know if I agree with that, because I think sometimes it's your mindset and your perspective on how you approach something that you don't like. And I don't know. In my head, what came about, or the image I was seeing is like, or the thought that I was processing was breathing. All right. Do we every day get up, enjoy breathing? Or do we just breathe because it's part of our process? And if you find yourself at a moment where you are enjoying breathing, is it because for some reason your breath was stopped? And then you're like, oh my God, I remember what breathing feels like. This is amazing. So going back to doing something that you don't like and it coming to a halt, I think it's about your approach to it and finding things that, even though you don't like X, Y, and Z, what in your environment or in your participation of that can you gain something that helps you along the way until you can find something that does bring you more joy than this moment. The second point I wanted to make was your last point, which I forgot what you said now. You were saying, can you remind me?
Just if you think that you can provide whatever may be missing, that you should provide it, that?
No, before that.
Well, I don't know.
Sorry. You spoke for so long, I should have taken notes. I didn't realize I would need to write down.
A lot of it's written down right there.
Talk. And take notes.
I got
it was like a lecture hall.
I got my notes right there. I want to be prepared, man. No, I was talking about how I think it's important for us to if we see some.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You got it now.
All right. So what I was thinking is, when you said that you may not like something right now, like you create something and you don't like it, and then if you don't like it, if you say you don't like it, it's because I created it, then that's a negative. Completely agree. If you then don't like it because of X, Y, and Z, I completely agree. You work on X, Y, and Z. But there could be another option. You don't like it at that moment because your state of mind isn't in vibration with it to enjoy it at that moment. And I will use, food as an example. Like one day I'm really into strawberries. One day I'm really into watermelon. And then maybe the next day I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling this watermelon. Like the watermelon hasn't changed. I've changed. My perspective about the watermelon has changed, or the piece of fruit has changed. And I guess that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you create something and you're not at the vibration to enjoy it at that moment. But if you put it aside and then come back to it at some point, maybe you will have evolved or changed to a vibration where you can enjoy what you created. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, no, I get that. I think that's part of what ties in. I think that's part of. Ugh. Let me straighten out those words. I think that quote is kind of addresses that because, it's almost like taste. You've got a taste for watermelon. You've got a taste for strawberry. You've got a taste for some heavy metal music. You've got a taste for some hip hop. So I think, you're going to be in different moods at different times. So I don't know if I'm going to buy that example that you're selling about a mindset thing. I think maybe in a broader picture, your mindset needs to change. And I think that this quote helped me change my mindset on a broader picture.
Okay. I'm going to try to defend that mindset thing again. So let's say, for example, their job is to collect garbage every day. I can't imagine somebody finds joy in that. But I also know that there are people who do that for a lifetime. But I think their perspective of I collect garbage every day. I help clean up the streets. I help people get rid of things that they don't want to get. And at the same time, I also created really great relationships. I have X, Y, and Z. I have great benefits. I have great that. That is a perspective change. Whereas you could be like, oh man, I freaking hate collecting garbage. This sucks. Everything sucks. Meanwhile, you have other things that probably don't suck about the job. But if your perspective is only focusing on the negative, then your experience is going to continue to be a negative one. Rather, if you can balance the two, it can't be that you probably don't like collecting garbage, but you know what? These are some of the other benefits that I'm getting from this.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what the quote says to me.
Okay, so maybe I'm misunderstanding. And I do enjoy the quote, although it's quite long. And today's the day of long getting to the points, which I'm doing right now. I do try to approach people in that manner because sometimes you do want to chill with an evergreen. Sometimes you want to chill with a shrub, and you just respect people for who they are as long as they are not doing something to negatively impact you.
Right. Sometimes, though, you don't have a choice on who you're chilling with. Like I was riding the train earlier today. I was like, this person's really loud. That person smells bad. This person's in my physical space. It's like...
Yeah, you don't have a choice at that moment, but when the train stops, you have a choice to get off and wait for another one. You have the choice to go to another cart. You have the choice to not focus on those things and focus on other things like, oh, I'm almost home, and so on. And then your mind will eventually, the smell, we all know you'll get acclimated to it. You won't smell it anymore after some point.
You hope.
If you're on there long enough.
You hope.
But there are some really potent scents in New York on the train.
Right. Right. You have anything else you want to say in closing?
No. But this is a great quote, I think. Yeah, like approaching people based on what the vibration they're putting out, not trying to make them something that they are not.
Right. Right. Just accept it for what it is. And if
Yeah.
you can help it, help it. If you can't, no worries. Don't
Yeah.
treat it. It's not your job to help everybody.
And then move on to, yeah, same. Yeah. Be okay moving on and saying, you know what, this person's not right for me at this time, and that's okay. Or this thing I'm pursuing is not right for me at this time, and that's okay. It's not you being lazy or giving up. It's you, I don't know, trying to align with divine timing, which people don't believe in, but sometimes it works to your benefit. Like I had a friend who wanted to open up a yoga studio. She was so into it, but she kept getting roadblocks. And she kept wondering, wow, am I not supposed to do this? Am I not supposed to do that? And guess what? COVID came.
Right.
So even though she really wanted this and she was extremely passionate about it, there was some divine timing working. Could be coincidental, synchronistic, but what's his name said there are no such thing as synchronicities. What's his name? The German psychologist.
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about. I always
Young?
mispronounce. Yeah, said that. So divine timing is a real thing, and then sometimes you just have to pay attention to that and not push yourself towards something that may not be right for you. That's it.
Yeah, you bagging on my Ram Dass quote, and here you are. Oh, I'm just kidding around. I'm always glad when Anne Marie can join. So I hope you all like that. Here every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, on YouTube and Twitch. Check out the links that are going to pop up. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, and check out all the stuff in the show more info YouTube. All right. We will see you guys later. Have a great day.
Bye. Have a great weekend. Take care.